Welcome to Clever Classroom IT. My name is Phil Mellifont, and in this series of Clever Classroom IT, we'll be looking at a range of issues that are relevant to schools to do with technology and learning. We want to look at teacher professional development, identifying the hardware and software in your school, and a whole range of issues with invited guests that will challenge the way that you think about technology and learning in school and at home. I'd like to welcome Ron McGregor from Scholastic New Media. Ron, a lot of artwork today by artists and by marketing for magazines, etc., is done actually on computer. Is that right?
It certainly is, Phil.
And I think there'd be a lot of art departments in high schools looking at this new technology.
Art departments in high schools and primary schools. Like here I've got a product called Art Dabbler. It introduces kids into, say, graphic design, because basically it tries to emulate natural media. So if I've got a crayon, it'll work like a crayon. If I've got a crayon I want to actually draw on a different surface, say like cotton or like canvas, I can actually emulate the canvas surface on my computer. So wow. If I just go through here, I've got my different drawing tools here, and there's a little box where I can pick out the different drawing tools I want. There's a list of all the ones I can choose from, and I can change the sizes. I'll click out of that. It also teaches me about colours and graduations between different colours. I've got a little colour wheel here. I can choose.
So you can mix your own colours.
I can mix the colours just like you would on a
traditional paint or something. Yeah.
An easel.
Yeah.
And over here I've got the different services at the moment. I'm using cotton paper, but I can pick out something like woven paper, canvas, and I think even down here there's something like lizard skin, or rawhide.
Lizard skin. So this is environmentally friendly painting. You don't need live lizards for this.
So here I've got some cowhide. I've got some simulated cowhide. I click on that, I'll get the reverse, and I'll just close that. Close the drawer. Isn't that nice to be able to close those art drawers and have a nice clean palette? So I'll come in here and I can pick out the crayon, and I'm using the blue colour, and if you see, it even works if I press harder. It responds to me really laying on that crayon. I can pick a paintbrush this time and paint. I could change the size of the paintbrush. I could use the pencil and use it, and it's even got the noise of the pencil. Change the colour, and it changes the colour on here. Now that's just one particular feature of it. I'll show you another feature, which is it introduces young kids into what happens with digital photography and when they apply filters to it. Here I've got a photograph of an apple, and I'll bring in the effects down here, and I might use, say, a glass distortion, much like, say, the glass that you've got on your bathroom so that people can't see in. And I'll just increase the amount of distortion, and I'll get a preview on screen here, and you can just imagine what's going to happen to my little apple down here. Off it goes.
You get a textured look.
You get the textured look. Or I could give it a negative. And some people may even start recognising exactly what sort of things that people do with photographs before they put them into print. Now, to add a little bit more to this particular, there it goes, it's going through and it's adding that motion blur, and you wouldn't have known that was an apple, but if that's a piece of art you're after, Phil, that's what we go for. It's also got this lovely little tutor in here which allows them to learn about cartoon animation and drawing cartoons. I'll just call that up now. It's a series of lessons based on how the head should be drawn, symmetry, where the eyes go. I'll just click through that quickly and pick on, say, learning on the heads. So there'll be 50 plus lessons there on how to draw cartoons and create animations, packed in with the painting tools, the natural,
pear-shaped or egg-shaped.
and clicked in with the actual animation.
This head shape may change perspective and form many times.
And in a classroom sense, this work can be displayed, be printed on a colour printer or in a slideshow.
You could export it, you could print it, you could export it to your website once again.
All the best work could be displayed on a website for the
Absolutely. Now, there's even another thing in here that which allows you to create a flip book. And if you remember back in those days when you got cards and drew little Indians and then flicked through them, it showed you how to actually create animations. I could actually draw on, say, the first one, flick through to the next,
And change the shape.
and change the shape, and basically just create my own little animation. Just to finish it off there, Phil, I'll just press the play button, and there's my animation.
So this is Art Dabbler, talent not included.
Art Dabbler without any talent, but imagine if you did have some talent, and imagine if I had this when I was in primary school.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
We have with us Ron McGregor from Scholastic New Media. Now, Ron, welcome. A lot of schools are looking at building their own websites. How exactly would they do that, though? If a school was starting out, how could they build their own website?
Well, the thing I like about this particular product here, Phil, it's called Splash. Apart from being produced in Australia, it's easy to use. All that stuff that people talk about, HTML, whatever it means, I don't know about it. All I want to know is how to produce my website. And this actually creates the website by just dragging your text in, dragging your photographs in, and then laying them out. You can preview them on your web browser and just actually upload it straight to your web server. Great. It's easy. It's like the way WordPresses are now. You type out and it comes out beautifully on the sheet. That's the way you want it to work. So
Let's have a look.
once again, let's see, we'll start with, say, the tutorial. It comes with a tutorial, and it's actually using the web browser for the
Just
tutorial.
step us through that.
Now here we've got a piece of graphic and a hypertext link, and I can go through and I'll just maximise this to make it a bit easier to see. And it's got step 1, and there's about 10 steps together to make up your particular website. Click on step 2, step 3, and as I said, step 4 and so on. So I'll just exit out of that or minimise it and show you what it basically involves.
So build a page. Yeah.
Let's build a page. Let's go for a new project. Gives it a name. Let's call it Ron's. It actually sets up the directory structure on your hard drive, and it automatically sends all those files off to your web server when you just press one button. So
Okay.
I like that. So we've got our first page here. It'll be a matter of bringing in, say, some text. And to put in some text, you just put a little box out. Now, if I hold it to the left there, you'll see that it will probably move either to the centre or to the left of the screen when I type in the text. So I'll just type in some letters here.
Some Greek here.
Into the middle. And if I right-click on that, I can have that as a hypertext link again. And I'll get it to go to, this time I'll get it to jump to a particular URL, and I might type in www.scholastic. So what do you think of that, Phil?
Yeah, it looks very easy to use. So obviously we haven't had much time, but you could build up text and graphics and do links to email centres and links to websites. So easy tool to create your own website.
So what I'll do now is I'll preview that very, very basic. So I've got a link down here. I've got my little hypertext link. So if I click on this,
If we were connected,
that would want to go off to the web browser. In this case here, if I click on that, that'll bring up the email there to actually then get connected and send through.
Thanks, Ron. Once again, we have with us June Wall from InTouch Consultancy for our Teacher Professional Development segment. Hello, June.
Hi, Phil.
And this week we're going to be looking at self-paced learning for teachers. So explain to me, what is self-paced learning for teachers?
Well, when we think of professional development, and effectively that's what we're looking at with this slide here, we're looking at the different models of professional development that work. Now, different models work for different types of learners and in different situations. One of those models is in self-paced learning. When we talk about self-paced learning, we're talking about being able to take it from an individual perspective at their own rate. Now, InTouch has developed a particular program that allows teachers as a whole staff to learn using technology, about technology, and how to integrate it into the curriculum. That involves some online workshops and programs that are available, but it also involves some materials, you know. It also involves training a mentor within the school. So if we think of that, they're the sorts of issues here when we talk about what needs to be considered when a school decides on the model of professional development it's going to use. What do they want to change? How are they going to develop those programs further? The particular, if I can just show you, the program that InTouch has used, and what we have here is a learning manager. We've called it a learning manager because it's something that an individual teacher uses to empower their own learning. InTouch has got, this is available on a website. People may come in here. It also has a web library of activities with it. They may come into this particular website, go to a local aspect to it, or they may go to the online aspect. Now for schools, often they don't have time to actually spend a lot of time online. So part of this program is in providing this manager and modules on the teacher's own hard disk. Okay.
And to state all of the obvious type things, this is an internet-based training program, and that is obviously wonderful for schools because they're so geographically spread, and especially for remote schools.
Exactly. And it's also even better in the sense because it doesn't actually rely on people being connected to the internet all the time, and it also allows for those people who learn better by having paper in front of them. We can provide notes for them. We provide one trainer per school, and in some schools 2 trainers per school as teachers that we have trained to support this process
and
through.
And that's that mentor program, which
it's
is
the mentor
very
program,
important.
extremely important because they need that supporting. Remember, one of those issues that we talked about on the slides was that willingness to change and the issues that go along with that. So if I can just show you, this particular online workshop is one of them. This one here is developing games and puzzles in the classroom, and it's available on the website as a free sample. I'll just quickly take you through it. If you have a look here at the structure of the flow diagram, it gives you an idea as to how a participant may move through the program itself. Tells them how it fits, gives them the introduction as to what it's about, talks about how they're going to have to choose a project in the end as to how they're going to do it. Then we break into 3 different areas here as to what they may do. Now the beauty of this part of it is not only do the teachers learn particular technology skills, they also learn how they can use them within the classroom at the same time, because these issues bring that up at all stages. I'll just go straight into this one, building word puzzles. And we'll go here and ask it to show us how to build search downloads, and it brings up this little side portion here, and that is effectively like an online help for teachers, and it shows them how to go about what they must do. You can read through that, how to open it, exactly tells them step by step how they can get into it, and then to the extent that it opens it for them.
So what the teacher will be learning here is not only, information about using Microsoft Word, which is a word processor, but also building a curriculum document that they could use in their classroom. So they're learning how to relate the technology to their classroom, and also gives them a resource that they could use with the class at a later time.
So it's skilling themselves, it's giving them a resource. It's actually, because it's not specifically based on a particular software program, it's giving them the skill to know how they can integrate technology into the classroom effectively.
Sounds wonderful. And of course, schools can get in contact with InTouch Training and find out some more information.
They sure can. We'd welcome it.
Thank you very much.